Prime Empire is the 12th season of Ninjago, which came out in 2020, and the minifigures were great. They looked absolutely amazing, something I would have loved to see in the original Season 3, and it really felt like the huge untapped potential of Ninjago rebooted. And because these sets aren't around anymore, I'm gonna build them myself using only parts I already have. Let's see what cool stuff I can build. Will this be a success or the biggest disaster on my channel yet? Let the challenge begin. So this all started when Prime Empire came out back in 2020, and with nothing better to do, I was looking through my LEGO collection and I found this piece right here that looked a lot like this Prime Empire loot box. So I kid you not, I made this improvised Keytana loot box back in 2020 using this round brick and neon laser from a Ninja Turtle set. I was pretty happy with this, and after starting my YouTube career just 2 months ago, I have decided to give Prime Empire another shot. So to begin, let's make some minifigures. The first guy I want to make is Scott, an absolute menace. He's the first guy to get stuck in the Prime Empire video game, and he just looks really cool. So first I'm going to get this generic figure here and take his torso because it's a half open jacket. Next we're going to steal some black legs from this policeman so that he can't arrest me if I commit any illegal building techniques later. Now Scott's head is interesting. When the set leaks first came out, lots of people actually thought that Scott was Lloyd because Scott's smiley face looks a lot like Lloyd's.
Great Scott!
So I think I'll try Lloyd's face. And now we need his cap. I'm gonna take this cap from Minifigure Series 3 and put it on Scott. Scott's mask covers most of the bottom half of his face, so instead I'm gonna take the bottom half of the head wrap released in the Ninjago movie, and it looks great. Oh, by the way, movie Zane looks really scary. If you know, you know. Now the more I look at Scott, the more it looks like Lloyd going to a baseball match, so you know what, let's get this Ice Samurai's head instead. Why did I do this? Well, the skin tone is the same as Scott's, and as long as you cover his mouth, it doesn't look scary. Just don't look at the other side. He looks like he just saw Zane turn on his funny switch.
The reason I never had a sense of humor was because my funny switch wasn't on.
And finally, let's give Scott a blaster so he can shoot down some red visors. Alright, Scott is done, so now let's build some other characters in Prime Empire, like Okino. He's this NPC samurai who's really athletic, and he has an entire episode dedicated to his backstory. An interesting thing is that Okino's face is the same as Karloff's face, and guess what? I have Karloff. Also, Turner's torso looks a bit like Okino's, so let's combine these two elemental masters together and make Okino. No, not like that, like this. For his hair, I'm gonna use the same technique in my Daddy No Leg video and give a black fang for his hair. And finally, let's give him a sword. This next character is really minor, but he's still someone I can make, so let's do it. Basically, Okino meets this samurai NPC who's way better than him at leading people, who's called Successful Samurai, according to the Ninjago wiki, and his helmet and armor are the same as the Blizzard Samurai from Season 11. So I'm going to take the armor and helmet, get this face from a Ninjago movie general, this generic blue body, and add some dark blue pants from Fusion J, and with a Keytana we now have a successful samurai for Okino to interact with. Someone is obviously missing from this spread, and that's Unagami, the game itself. Now I did think about making him, but he looks really similar to the Skull Sorcerer, which I made in my previous video, so I didn't really want to do something like that again. Instead, let's make MILTON DYER, the one who made Unagami. This is the very first minifigure that I got from this absolutely legendary LEGO City set that actually appears in the LEGO City shorts, and his shirt has the same plaid patterns as MILTON DYER's, so I'm gonna use this, and some dark blue pants here with a belt. MILTON DYER has glasses, so here's a head from an Ultra Agents figure, and we can take Emmett's hair to complete it because it has a little tuft at the back, just like MILTON DYER when he was young. He also has a double-sided scared expression like MILTON DYER in the show. So we've got a bunch of characters introduced in Prime Empire itself, but I really want to make a Digi Ninja now. Basically, the ninja in this series are called Digi Ninja, and they have these epic suits with white and their signature color. The closest thing I have in my collection is this racer from Minifigure Series 3. It kind of looks like that actually. I'll take this and make Kai because of the red and white colors on his suit. For his face, I'll just use a generic one because this blue and black face visor here is nowhere to be found in my collection. Just add a head wrap and we're almost done. For the white armor, I wanted to try and make it out of bricks. I tried many designs, including this one using a snot brick and this modified brick with bars extending out so you can clip these 1x1 plates to look like armor. But it just wasn't working for me, so instead I used some sausage pieces to get an angle, and it looks much better in my opinion. Finally, we can build the floating health bar using this 1x4 tile from the same Ultra Agent set I got MILTON. And just one more thing I'd like to make is an energy cube, which is what players turn into when they lose all their lives. This is what I came up with, using translucent 1x2 plates in orange and yellow. And our figures are done. Scott, Okino, Successful Samurai, MILTON, DYER, and Digi Ninja. So let's make a little set to display these figures in. Now after looking at the Prime Empire set wave, I realized there was a problem just like most of the other Ninjago waves. The only thing linking the sets together is the minifigures and collectible Keytanas. Most of these are vehicles and they would lack unity if you just place them next to each other without the boxes. This wasn't the case in my previous video. Like with the Shintaro set wave, you could clearly tell this was a Shintaro set even without the minifigures, because all of the sets came with the build that had a stone suspended in a lava puddle, so it was pretty easy for me to come up with a mock idea. But for Prime Empire, well, I'm just going to have to make a place from the show. I asked on my community page for some ideas and we got some great responses, and in the previous video someone commented they'd like to see the gamers market. I thought this would be an easy choice, but all of these are so great that I couldn't decide which one to do, so I've instead decided to just do a Prime Empire series later on. I might do it, I might not, but for this video, I'm just going to build Okino's home, Terra Karana, also the first zone in the Prime Empire game. So we see this plays in episode 5 of the series called I Am Okino, and I had to watch the episode in slow motion to figure out where things are placed in this area. So Okino runs out of his house at an angle to these wooden pillars, and then runs another distance before jumping over the arcade cabinet, which leads to the gate to the Forest of Discontent. And later on we see that it is this little distance that Okino runs on that he sticks all of the swords into. So the objective is simple: house, sticks, swords, and arcade cabinet. I'm going to use this base plate with 32 by 32 studs. First off though, I want to build Okino's house because that's probably going to be the biggest build of this mod. Initially I tried to build a minifigure scale house, but it looked really ugly and it would take up too much space on the base plate. And I realized that if I wanted to make a full minifigure scale Okino house, I would need 3 more base plates to accommodate the rest of the build, which I don't have. So instead I decided to improvise and make a micro scale one. Micro builds are really fun because you just really have to choose what details to represent, and every single piece matters. Check out the Cold Earth Driller video I made a while ago, by the way, if you want another micro build. I built Okino's house on 2 2x6 plates connected to form a 4x6 stud space. For the pillars I used telescope pieces. For the front door I used this illegal building technique with these grill pieces, and it's a good thing that the policeman doesn't have legs anymore so he can't chase us. For the roof curves I connected 2 cones using a short stick in opposite directions so that these 2 slope pieces can be attached in opposite directions. And then I attached it to the roof using 2 jumper plates and a clip. These dark brown slopes are attached at an angle to give the roof more curves, and finally to complete the roof I used these grey modified bricks and 2x3 brown plates. I think it turned out much better than the original house, so now we just need to scale everything else down to match the house. Before that though, we need to build a sandy area so that we know how much space each item should take up. And because I didn't have as many sand bricks as I thought I did, I used lots of plates instead, and I had to resort to this darker sand color too at times. Also, I forgot to mention this earlier, but Okino has some bamboo poles next to his house that he chops up, so I used Technic bricks with holes in the studs to put some sticks in. Next we need the pillars that Okino jumps on, and I'm just going to represent them using brown cylinder bricks. And finally we just need an arcade cabinet. The Empire Temple of Madness set comes with one, and I loosely followed the instructions to get this. Even though it looks quite big considering everything else in this build, I can't be bothered scaling it down, and it's not too big anyway. So we've got Okino's house, the bamboo poles, the pillars, and the arcade cabinet. Also, we need to add a little rock for Okino to meditate on. And speaking of which, let's make a micro scale Okino too. Now we just need to tile some green around the sand and we should be good to go. Finally, let's just add some trees and these grey bricks to represent the swords that Okino sticks into the ground, because I don't have the official Lego dagger pieces. And by the way, I forgot to show you this little play feature I integrated into this diorama. While building, I found this 1x2 brick with a sticker on it, and I hid it here in the diorama. It's like a little power up in the Prime Empire game. Like this would give you fish power up or something, I don't know. And finally, we're done. Comment down below what your favorite part of this video was. We made 5 minifigures and a diorama, all with my little collection of bricks. It's not as spectacular as my build in the previous video. It looks a bit dull, but there's actually a lot that went into this. The Microbuild house, the arrangement to be as show accurate as possible, and having to play Tetris with Lego bricks to cover up everything with sand. I'm very proud of this and I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten your responses from the community poll, and do continue to let me know what stuff you'd like to see. Thanks for watching and I hope to see you again. Stay creative and keep on building.
Of danger, peril awaits at every turn.